Essays on Untouchables and Untouchability Religious by Babasaheb Ambedkar. Chapter 4, Part 5. Let us take the second part of the question. Has Christianity been able to save the convert from the sufferings and the ignominy which is the misfortune of everyone who is born an untouchable? Can an untouchable, after his conversion to Christianity, take water from a public well? Are his children admitted to a public school? Can he enter a hotel or tavern which was not open to him? Can he enter a shop and buy things from inside? Will a barber shave him? Will a washerman wash his clothes? Can he travel in a bus? Will he be admitted in public offices without compunction? Will he be allowed to live in the touchable quarters of the village? Will the Hindus take water from him? Will they dine with him? Will not the Hindu take a bath if he touches him? I am sure the answer to every one of these questions must be in the negative. In other words, conversion has not brought about any change in the social status of the untouchable convert. To the general mass of the Hindus, the untouchable remains an untouchable even though he becomes a Christian. The question is, why has Christianity not succeeded in raising the status of the untouchable convert? What are the reasons for this failure? I am not sure that my reasons and my answers will be accepted by all those who are interested in the problem, but I will state them for what they are worth. To understand and appreciate what I am going to say, I must begin by pointing out that the change in the social status of the convert can be the result of a twofold change. There must be a change in the attitude of the Hindus. Secondly, there must be change in the mentality of the convert. Status is a dual matter, a matter inter se between two persons, and unless both move from their old position, there can be no change. What has been done by those who were in charge of Christian endeavor to make the parties move on? A consideration of this question will enable us to understand why Christianity has failed to raise the status of the untouchable convert. Let us consider the question in parts. What has Christianity done to make the Hindus move on? I find they have done nothing. They seem to be depending upon an idea doing the miracle. The faith in an idea doing the work has been very well expressed by the late Duke of Argyll when he said, "There is no method of reform so far powerful as this. If alongside any false or corrupt belief or any vicious or cruel system, we place one incompatible idea, then without any noise or controversy or clash of battle, those beliefs and customs will wave an idea. It was thus that Christianity, without one single word of direct attack, killed off one of the greatest and most universal curses of the pagan world, the ever deepening curse of slavery. Whatever may be the importance of an idea, I am sure history does not bear out the conclusion of the Duke of Argyll. It is a debatable question whether the end of slavery in the Roman Empire was due to the influence of Christianity. It is beyond doubt that serfdom continued in Europe, although Christianity was an established institution for several hundred years. It is an incontrovertible fact that Christianity was not enough to end the slavery of the blacks in the United States. A civil war was necessary to give the black people the freedom which was denied to him by the Christians. The dependence of those in charge of the Christian endeavor upon planting of an idea and leaving it to work a miracle is therefore one of the reasons why the untouchable has remained an untouchable notwithstanding his Christian faith. Let me take the other part of this question. Does Christianity inspire the untouchable to move on? I am constrained to say that it does not. So far as I am able to see, Christian preaching to the untouchable is less centered on practical reforms and more centered around the development of Christian social attitudes. Christians who desire the conversion of the untouchables insist on regarding Christianity as purely spiritual. To teach that Christians have an obligation to love others is no doubt very valuable, but to stop there and argue that spiritual life expressed in a social attitude is quite unrelated to material life and Christians can have nothing to do with it is, in my judgment, to preach an empty doctrine. What is the use of a daily exhortation to a wrongdoer to be good and just if the exhortation is not followed by action to make the wrongdoer just and good? The Christian missionaries have never thought that it was their duty to act and get the injustice that pursues the untouchable even after his conversion to Christianity removed. That mission should be so inactive in the matter of the social emancipation of the untouchable is of course a very sad thing. But far more painful is the inaction of the untouchable who becomes a convert to Christianity. It is the saddest thing. He continues to suffer from what the Hindus, the same disabilities which were his lot before the conversion. It is an extraordinary thing that the movement for the redress of wrongs is carried out by the untouchables who have not become converts to Christianity. I have never noticed the untouchable Christians meeting in conferences for the redress of their social wrongs. That they have grievances is beyond question. That there are many who are educated enough to lead them in their struggle is also well known. Why is it then that there has been no movement for the redress of their wrongs? I see three reasons why the Christian untouchable has failed to raise a movement. The first reason is to be found in the complete absence of desire on the part of the educated among the Christians to take up the cause of the community and fight for it. This is due, in my judgment, to the fact that within the Christian community, the educated class and the mass has no kinship. The Christian community is a composite community. In some places, it is divided into touchables and untouchables. In all places, it is divided into high class and low class. The educated class is largely drawn from the touchable or the higher class. This educated class, being detached from the lower or the untouchable class of Christians, is not charged with the wants, pains, cravings, desires, aspirations of the latter, and does not care for their interest. The untouchable Christians are therefore leaderless and therefore unable to mobilize for the redress of their wrongs. The second reason why there is no movement among the untouchable Christian is due to recent faults and certain faults in the mental makeup of the convert. The mental makeup of the untouchable Christian is characterized by a complete absence of any urge to break his bonds. What is the reason for this absence of any urge? It seems to me that there are two reasons which account for this. One reason is to be found in the antecedent of the untouchable who becomes a Christian. An untouchable becomes a Christian for some advantage, or he becomes a Christian because he likes the teachings of the Bible. But the case is very rare of an untouchable becoming a Christian because of a positive discontent or dislike of the Hindu religious teachings. The result is that Christianity becomes only an addendum to his old faith. It does not become a substitute. He cherishes both and observes them on occasions separate and appropriate to each. The second reason for the absence of any urge is due, I am afraid, to the teachings of the Christian church itself. The Christian church teaches that the fall of man is due to his original sin, and that the reason why one must become Christian is because in Christianity there is a promise of forgiveness of sins. Whatever may be the theological and evangelistic basis of this doctrine, there is no doubt that from the sociological point of view, it is a doctrine which is fraught with disaster. This Christian teaching is a direct challenge to sociology, which holds that the fall of man is due to an unpropitious environment and not to the sins of man. There is no question that the sociological view is the correct view, and the Christian dogma only misleads man. It sets him on a wrong tail. This is exactly what has happened with the untouchable Christians. Instead of being taught that this fall is due to this wrong social and religious environment, and that for his improvement he must attack the environment, he is told that his fall is due to his own sin. The consequence is that the untouchable convert, instead of being energized to conquer his environment, contents himself with the belief that there is no use struggling for the simple reason that his fall is due to the sin committed not by him, but by some remote ancestor of his called Adam. When he was a Hindu, his fall was due to his karma. When he becomes a Christian, he learns that his fall is due to the sins of his ancestor. In either case, there is no escape for him. One may very well ask whether conversion is a birth of a new life and a condemnation to the old. The end.